Okay, so
Smash the like button.
smash the like button.
Yes.
It helps all of us.
It does help
All of us, especially Charlotte.
Yes.
Hi beautiful dancers, it's Kathryn Morgan. Today's video was filmed about a month ago at Yagp Finals with the amazing Josephine Lee. You guys know I love her so very much. And a beautiful dancer and competitor, Charlotte. And we wanted to talk all things judging, point shoes. Josephine is doing a sister video over on her channel, so go be sure and check that out. But here's our little chat with Charlotte.
Charlotte, we just grabbed freshly out of the theater.
Yes.
You literally just performed.
Like still sweaty.
Still sweaty. It's all good. She's glowing.
She's glowing.
Katie is judging this weekend.
Yes, I am judging this weekend. I judge pre-competitive. I am judging ensemble, teaching a bunch, filming a bunch,
Yes.
hosting a bunch. So we're here.
Yes. Let's talk about then all of the categories that are not dancing. So costumes, music, variation, makeup, point shoes. So when you're looking at a dancer, how much of that plays into a factor?
Makeup and costume, not at all. Like
Not at all. You
it's
spent thousands on these.
It's the presentation. Like honestly, you could come out in a practice tutu and we wouldn't care.
I
Because
love that.
we are looking at you as the dancer.
Right?
Oftentimes, if there's a costume with a lot of stuff, it takes away from the solo. Like this is beautiful. We got very minimal trim. It's lovely. It's put together. But the tutus that look like a Swarovski crystal factory
Right.
sometimes can be a little
Blinding.
whoa. And you only have a minute and a half. Sometimes if it's the costumes a lot, we can't see past it. That's 30 seconds wasted.
Right.
So you're better in the kind of classic look. You can have sparkles, you can have jewels, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to have you do better in the score if your costume has more jewels on it. Like, it's not. My biggest thing is you want to look professional and put together. So you want to have the full look. You want to have the makeup that shows your features. You want to have some sort of headpiece. I will say a headpiece, for whatever reason, ties it all together. But don't feel like you have to spend thousands of dollars.
Right.
You don't. It's just about the whole look. No ripped tights, point shoes that match tights, you know, either the classic pink or skin tone. Weird little thing. Make sure your ribbons are not wildly different from your tights, because I've seen this happen and it cuts you off at the ankle.
Right.
It makes your lines look shorter.
How do you combat
Pancake
that?
is great, or just like if you wear, oftentimes with dance brands, if you wear block tights, have block ribbons, they'll match them on purpose. Just a nice cleaner look. Not
That's
again,
true.
this is not going to make or break you, but it's the overall picture. So what did you dance?
So I did a rare variation from the Flames of Paris.
Nice.
It's all hops, the entire thing, but I love hopping, so.
Nice.
Shoe
You gotta be strong for that.
killer.
Yeah.
Shoe killer.
Oddly enough, I think I've chosen almost all of my variations I've done.
Okay, tell me what other variations you've
Okay,
done.
well, when I was 11, my first year, I did the Radish variation from Cipollino, which is an opera. I was this little 11-year-old doing Radish. And then when I was 12, my first year at finals, I did the Fairy of Generosity. And I did the Paquita Everybody Does. Pelia Swanhilda Act 3 wedding scene. I did that this year with this one.
So that's something to also point out. For regionals, you are allowed to do 2. Right? Actually, you're allowed to do as many as you want, but I recommend 2. But then when you come here to finals, you were only allowed to do 1. So how did you end up choosing? Was it based on your score? Was it based on your preference?
So a little bit both. So I did Coppelia last year, so this is my second year doing it. So I was thinking maybe I shouldn't do the same variation twice at finals. So that's why I chose this one this year. And also this one did score higher, most likely because it is a more rare variation.
Do you ever get a dancer when you're watching and say, like, this dancer would be so good at a different variation?
Oh, 1,000%. You're at the wrong variation, it's not going to show your strengths off. You want to pick something that shows your strengths. If you're a hopper, pick a hopping variation. Like if you're not
If you're
a turner, you're a hopper.
I call myself that, it's okay.
Do your research. Find a rare one.
Right.
If you're not a turner, don't do Black Swan. Do you know what I mean? Like it's, if you have the lyrical, like there's some pretty, Paquita kind of has everything.
Right.
There's a variation for everybody. If you are totally lost of what to pick, start with Paquita. You'll find something. There's that pretty slow one. There's the entre saucisse one. There's some turn ones. There's the big étoile one. Like there's lots of options. Do your research. Find a rare one.
Right. So if you don't know what your strengths are, right? Like what do you focus? Is there like broad categories that you would think of?
There's ways to figure out what your you're good at. What's your favorite part of class?
That's
if
a good
there's a part
question.
of class that you dread, probably not your strength. Like for me, Petite Allegro, I hide in the back of the room. I wouldn't do Flames in Paris. I wouldn't do some jumpy one. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't do Black Swan either. I'd probably pick a lyrical one. So if you start there, if you're like, I don't know what to do, what's the part of class that you like the most? What's the part of class you hate? And then figure it out.
What's the difference between you conducting an audition versus conducting a competition?
Audition is really based on technique, obviously, like where you are with strength, where you are with placement, alignment. Not that that doesn't come into play with YAGP.
Totally.
But YAGP is about the artistry, the character, technique married with the performance quality.
Right.
So with an audition, when people do like summer intensive auditions, they're literally looking for a benchmark of where you are. It's not about, can I put this person on stage? I want to see the potential. I want to see, can I mold this? With this, when you're on stage doing a variation, they want to see, especially with the older juniors and seniors, soon they're going to be looking for jobs.
Right.
So that director wants to see, can I put this person in the core of Swan Lake?
Right. And I think this is why this is almost better than an audition because it highlights both sets. Like you can be an amazing technician, be amazing in class, but then not a great performer, and then vice versa. And in this sense, like you can get all of it. You can get the master classes, eyeballs on you and during class, and then you can also see how good of a performer you are. So,
which is why they do the scholarship classes,
right?
Because especially these big schools like Cranko, Princess Grace, Royal, they need to see you more than just a minute and a half.
Right.
They need to see your whole self. You on stage, you in class. So that is why the classes here, they wear their numbers. And classes here count.
Okay, so judge's perspective, point shoes, what do you see?
You want the point shoe to not be noticed. If we are noticing your shoes, we're not looking at you, your feet, your lines. You want it to be the extension. You want it to be like you're part of you. So a good fitting shoe is key because we should notice it.
What are some of the bad fits that you see on stage?
Way too tapered. That pinky toe popping out the side. Too high a vamp because people are getting pushed back. And too wide because we're sinking and sometimes we go out to the pinky. Sometimes it looks knuckly. Like the shape is wrong. It might fit, but the shape is wrong. So if you're tapered, you want a tapered shoe, not, square peg, round hole. Like,
Let's talk point shoes.
So when you have a kid who's doing YAGP, and they come to you saying, I am doing this variation, does the variation matter what shoes you put them in?
What they're doing in the variation definitely matters. If it's a classical variation with lots of toe hops, then we want something that's going to last a little bit longer because your shoes, one, is going to die really fast. And if you don't swap your shoes, it's going to die on one foot much faster than the other.
Do you recommend switching your shoes? Because if I did that, I would be out on my pinkies so fast. Because I want to ask the expert, should or should you not switch feet on your shoes?
That depends on the dancer. So if you bevel a lot or if you sickle and you know that, switching from the beginning might be helpful, but you have to commit to doing that from the beginning. If it starts to cast to your foot and then you try to switch it, it's going to look so weird. It's going to look like you're wearing your left shoe on your right foot. So if you're going to switch shoes, you have to do it from the beginning and then you have to do it often and you have to keep track of it so it'll wear out evenly. And if you're also breaking one shoe much faster than the other, again, for longevity purposes, we're going to swap shoes.
I like Charlotte, so on the inside. I think it's a cleaner look. I think inside, outside, is it dancer preference? Like what is it dancer preference?
It's definitely dancer's preference, but if you have very sensitive skin, sometimes when you sew the ribbons and the elastic on the inside, it could rub. So if you have very sensitive skin and that's an issue, or if you wear your shoes very, very tight and you literally can't give any more, then sewing it on the outside can help you pull the shoe up better. So it's definitely a preference thing, but let me ask you, can you see that on stage?
Not really.
There you go.
I've never seen a dancer and gone, ooh, on stage.
Right. So if you can't see it, then you do what is best for you. In class, obviously, you'll see it. But I think it's a much better
I think it's better
look.
to have the dancer just do what they do in film.
Exactly.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love Josephine dearly. I want to do more collabs with her, as you know. So stay tuned for more from us. I hope you liked this video. And if you have anything you guys want to see us collab on or talk about, let me know in the comments. Also, go be sure and check out Josephine's video on her channel because it's pretty awesome too. So love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.